Good morning, everybody. Today on the channel, we're driving this 2026 Toyota Corolla LE, which is essentially a base model. As far as engine setup here, we have a 2-liter 4-cylinder making 169 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque. There is an optional hybrid model for the LE Corolla. There's also a hybrid all-wheel drive one, but today we have just the standard gas model front-wheel drive, coming in at just above $23,000 US. And honestly, who needs a hybrid, because we're still making 41 miles per gallon on the highway, 35 combined, 32 city. So we're doing great. Very efficient vehicle. I've gotten to spend the week with this thing since I've been, commuting for work up here back in the Boston area. And so nonetheless, let's get this thing out on the road. Give a quick check out to the backup camera. Decent resolution, and there are sensors on each side, so you can see cross traffic alerts, which is nice to have, especially backing out of a parking spot like that. All right, so far the impressions I've had of this interior is that there's not really any sort of bells and whistles. We don't have a sunroof, we don't have heated seats, we don't have any sort of really stylistic feature in this interior, but we do have an upgraded 8-inch infotainment screen. We have, physical buttons for our HVAC controls, which I really do appreciate. We have a little cubby down here. We have a USB-C port for charging. We don't have any sort of other ports, no USB-A, no 12 volt up here in the front. But we do have an automatic driver's window. We have manual controls for our seats, of course. But that $23,000 price point is definitely really hard to sell a new car at. Like, I'm actually genuinely shocked that this car is only $23,000 US. And honestly, I think I'm gonna title this video, "The Gift That Keeps on Giving." Because at the end of the day, if you can buy a brand new car for $23,000, and yes, that is a decent amount of money, but in the context of a new car sale, which I believe is over $50,000 as the average, that's a lot. So you know how they say that, this car is no slouch? Yeah, well, this one is. 169 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque, coming from a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder paired to a CVT. It's just not a winning formula, guys. But at the end of the day, we're really focused on efficiency, which this car is phenomenal at. What I noticed, what was funny about the Toyota Corolla, is we also have an Eco Heat and Cool button. Kind of bizarre, right? I've never seen that in a car other than, maybe an electric vehicle such as like the BMW i3. I drove the 2016 model. I'm pretty sure it had like an Eco Cool and heat mode. So as far as the exterior styling, it hasn't changed much in the last few years, but it is fairly a good looking car. And the 2026 model comes with LED daytime and headlights, so it's pretty nice to have. This thing is very smooth. I do think that the CVT hurts the overall driving characteristics. This thing would feel much better with like a 6-speed automatic, and it'd be nice if you could also control the gears, so when I'm merging on the highway, I don't just have to like slam the throttle and wait 3 seconds for this thing to make any sort of torque. But at the end of the day, this car is just really set up to be as efficient as possible for the lowest price point possible. Like, our steering wheel is all hard plastic. Feels like a Fisher-Price toy. But, we have the right controls on it here, such as, making different things pop up in our digital gauge cluster. You can see information such as regular car info, like your eco mode and your efficiency and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. You can also see what song is currently playing on the radio. I do wish with the digital screen they had the wipers on some sort of control here so you could see which setting it's on, because I've been getting kind of confused with like which way is you know, faster and slower, because off is at the top and the highest is at the bottom. And then on the right hand side, we have our cruise control. We also have a button to, you know, basically help you keep your lane. We have adaptive cruise control too, which is pretty great. As far as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, it's fully wireless and it works great. We actually have had 0 issues where it stops connecting or doesn't connect from the start. There has been a couple times where it's on Apple CarPlay, but it just like doesn't pop up on the screen, and it'll say like, oh, you have navigation going on your screen, and then you just press the button, the CarPlay button in the top left corner, and it comes right up. So not really an issue, just kind of like a weird glitch that maybe not is supposed to happen, but it does happen. But yeah, so needless to say, with, you know, safety options such as blind spot monitoring, automatic brake warning, like I've even had a couple times where it's beeped at me when, you know, traffic has slowed down ahead. I just think overall this car is a very safe and efficient vehicle, and personally I think these are great for a first car. Like if you want to buy your kid a brand new car, definitely look at the Toyota Corollas, but the price point is really what sells this car. And it is an okay amount of room. Those back seats are usable, and the trunk space is actually pretty big. I've been stuffing my tool bag back there, no problem, and my luggage. Like there's definitely no issue of, you know, space, especially for a teenager. It's not like, you know, it's not like they're gonna be carting around 5-7 people on a daily basis, right? Though I will say my favorite car I owned when I was younger, when I realized how cool they were, was my 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan. That car had the stow and go seats. I could bring all my friends hiking with me, could cart people around, no issue. So to wrap things up, I do think the Toyota Corolla is a great first option. Or, you know, if you're an adult and you have a long commute, if you can't, you know, swing some extra money for the Prius, or maybe you just don't want to drive a Prius, this is a great efficient option. I've been averaging 41 miles per gallon with pretty much ease, like not trying at all on the highway. And so with that being said, I really can't find anything wrong about this car. I mean, of course I wish it had a sunroof, I wish it had heated seats, I wish it had electronic adjustments for the seats. So if you like those features, you know, just go up in the trim levels. I mean, you could even get an SE, which has a sportier look to it, comes with actual rims instead of these hubcaps we have here. Just overall provides a more sporty look. But this LE is a great car. Anyways, leave your questions and comments below. Don't forget to like the video as it helps me out tremendously. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.